Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be talking a bit about the repair industry when it comes to the watches. A lot of you have been watching my videos and commenting, asking questions about how to do some of the repairs, and you've had things that I've been able to answer, other things that are harder to answer without showing them. And so one of the things that I've been doing is going to companies and helping them learn how to repair, but I realized that going to just a single company is fairly time consuming, and what I've decided to do is put together a course where I can have a lot of people come from different companies, or just if they want to learn to do this as a side gig, or start a business, or they're already part of a business but they want to learn how to integrate something like this into the business. I showed in my last video a little bit about my process and also the amount of watches that I do. Like for example here, got a map where I've kind of pinned a good portion of the repairs that I've done. You can see that California, got a lot of repairs for watches that come out of there. Over in New York, New Jersey area, Chicago, Florida, I mean, you name it. And what I've also done is I've turned this into a little bit of artwork where you can see each glass piece, because that's mostly what breaks on these watches is the glass. I've embedded in a little bit of epoxy. I have a video that showing how to do that. You can see here as well more of the watches along with some other screens, and on the other side of my wall here you can see going down, these are just each one individual repairs. Hundreds and hundreds, I think over 1,000 repairs now. To give you an idea of the amount of repairs, let me show you what I currently have on my plate. So there's some that I unboxed today, but here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 different watches I've started working on a few over there. These ones I haven't touched, and I have a few more that I have to still unbox. But I kind of want to go over a couple of the things that I'm going to be doing in this course, and we'll talk a little bit about more about what that course will involve. So let me show you this real quick. So right here I've kind of just typed up a little bit about the course. We're going to be going over the series 1, 2, 3, 38, 42 millimeter, and the 4 and 5. So every single generation of Apple Watch, I'm going to show you guys how to remove the screen from the frame without damaging anything, like the actual display itself, the digitizer, the force touch, how to prep the screen for the glass separation, because there's some techniques that make it so you have a better chance of successfully removing the glass. How to actually remove the glass and the techniques that I use to do so. How to install a new glass, how to read here the new screen once you've done that to the frame. Also going to be talking about the digitizers, how to test for digitizer defects before, during, and after the repairs, how to prep the screen for the digitizer removal, which is not the same in every model. Each one of these models, especially even the glass repair, each model you do it a different way. How to separate the digitizer from the actual display, and how to replace the digitizer and adhere the screen to the watch frame. The other thing that a lot of people are dealing with is understanding the NFC and how to maintain things like Apple Pay and not have any pairing issues, because simply replacing the display, you replace the NFC with a non-original NFC, or not paired to that device, and so you lose things like Apple Pay, and that's one of the benefits of learning how to do these repairs. Battery replacements, microphone, force touch, heart rate monitor, external charging, basically anything that's inside of the watch we're going to be going over. Things like the frame damage, how to correct the dents in the frame, how to market and promote yourself, and then we're going to be talking about profit margins, making sure that each repair is profitable and helps to grow your business. One of the things that to kind of give you an idea of why I got into this part of the business is when it came to the actual repairs. Like here, let me go to Apple's website. So here where they have their repair pricing. So on the newest Series 5, just this simple aluminum GPS, if you break your watch, it'll be technically out of warranty unless you have your Apple Care Plus, and so the repair on that's $300 plus tax. If it's the cellular unit, then it's going to be $350. If it's the stainless steel, it's going to be $400. If you've got the titanium, you're at $500, and if you've got the ceramic, you're at $800. So each one of those repairs is fairly expensive. And the nice thing about the Series 5 is the glass repair is fairly similar on all of the models. It gets a little bit more complicated with the stainless and up. And then we move down to the Series 4. Same thing, except you just don't have the titanium and ceramic. As far as the cost goes, it's $299 or $300, $350, $400 to repair the screens on those. The Series 3, this happens to be their lowest repair at $159, which I'm not sure why, because even the Series 2 GPS is aluminum is more expensive than that. But $229, $329, and $800 for the ceramic edition. Here's what I'm saying with here's like the Series 2 aluminum. It's like $70 more than or $60 more than that one. But even the Series 1, it's a $200 repair with Apple. And depending on the model of the first generation, you've got $200, $250, $250, and then the Apple Watch Edition at $2,800. That's insane. Anyway, but you can kind of get an idea there as to why this repair can be profitable, because of what Apple charges. Anything less than Apple, people are going to be willing to pay. Of course, you don't want to charge an amount where people just will say no. In general, you need to find that price point where people are going to be happy to pay, because it's going to save them from spending this much with Apple, and it's going to give them the same results. So going through this course, a lot of these bullet points took me quite a bit of time to learn. There wasn't a lot of information online on how to do these repairs, and so that's why I decided to start making YouTube videos. So I noticed when a couple years back, when I started repairing the Apple Watches, that that there wasn't a whole lot of information on how to do it. I could find parts over in China, and so I knew, well, if I can find the parts, then I've got to be able to do the repairs. And yet there was no videos other than like just full display replacements. But in replacing the display, you lose the NFC connector, and you can run into issues with pairing and other things. And I was trying to figure out how to troubleshoot that, because there wasn't a whole lot of information in that aspect. And so I realized, okay, well, I'm going to have to learn this myself. And I spent tons of time buying watches, fixing them, selling them. I had a lot of people mailing me watches and for repair, because I was one of the only ones doing them. And during that process, I was able to gain the knowledge to be able to successfully replace the displays. Then when the Series 4 came out with all of its differences, learning how to replace the glass on that, replace the digitizer, and things like that, it was a much different. There was a stark difference between the Series 2 and 3, and then the 4 and the 5. Kind of like on the Series 1, if you've ever replaced the glass on a Series 1, you'll know that replacing the glass, just the glass on the Series 1 is fairly difficult, whereas replacing the digitizer on the Series 1 is easier but requires soldering. And so if you can solder, then you can replace the digitizer, and you'll be successful at that. But replacing just the glass guarantees that you don't have issues down the line with the touch and other things that you may come across with, say, a faulty digitizer after soldering it on and adhering it and everything like that. and just all of the difficulties that come with those type of repairs. So this course is going to be going over all of these different repairs, and my intent is to help those out there that are looking to add profit to their business. One of the things that I mentioned in my last video is how repairing Apple Watches has set my business apart from my competition. Because when one of the customers learns that I can do a repair that the other companies simply won't do, or if they will do it, they're going to be doing just the displays, and they're going to be charging nearly the cost or even more than what Apple would repair it for. When they find out that I'm going to be saving them hundreds of dollars on that repair, and that I can do it, they start bringing me the other repairs, like the iPhones, the iPads, MacBooks, anything else. In fact, I've had plenty of customers where they'll send me their watch, I'll fix it, I'll send it back, and a month or two later I'll get an email from them. They're like, hey, I broke my phone, can I send it to you? And I'm like, well, you could just go to the local shop and do it. I'm sure they would be happy for your business. And they're like, well, I really like your business, I like what you did, I trust you, can I send it to you? I'm okay without the phone for a few days. And I'm like, sure, go for it. And so being able to do that, has really set me aside and kind of put me, in a different position than all these other companies that are fighting for the repairs that are becoming less and less profitable. Depending on the city you're in and the country you're in, the repairs on the iPhones and iPads, you'll have noticed over the last few years have gone significantly down. A lot of companies that I've worked with on getting the Apple Watches going, they've told me about how the screen repairs where I'm still able to charge $100 for it, the customers are coming in and bidding somewhere around $50 or less for that same repair. And I'm like, well, how are you guys even staying open if you have like a storefront? And they're like, well, we actually don't have a storefront anymore. We're only we go and meet the customer. And it's like, doing that type of business, it can work, but having a repair that can bring you a profit margin that, like, in my opinion, in the olden days, 5-6 years ago, where these repairs, were more profitable, or even a couple years ago, before the inflation in the industry, with the amount of repair shops popping up, being able to offer a repair that no one else is going to do for the right margins has helped my business, allowed me to open multiple storefronts, and in the area I am, rent is higher than most, but it's not something that I have to be too concerned about, because when I'm able to fix the watches, I get the other repairs that are already coming in anyway, but now I get more of them. People will start mailing me their iPads or their iPhones, Samsungs, other things that, maybe their family member, broke a device, and they're like, hey, I know somebody that fixed an Apple Watch and they did a great job. I'm sure they can do other things. So they'll contact me, hey, can you fix a Samsung? I was like, yeah, of course. It's going to be a bit more expensive, etc., but they end up sending those to me. So learning how to repair the Apple Watches has put me above my competition, and what I want to do is help you guys in your endeavors to get that step up and to excel, to add business, to gain more credibility, and to be able to do the repairs that seem to be out of your reach. I've had, and one of the things that I want to do is I want to limit the amount of people that I have in each one of these courses. I don't want to overwhelm myself or the people there and not get all the questions answered. So I want to be able to limit it to enough people where I can dedicate enough time to each individual person. I'm going to split the course up into a couple days. The first day is going to be basically going over all the different series of Apple Watches when it comes to how to remove the screens and replace the glass. That's easily going to take a full day if we hit all of the models of watches, and we can talk about the difficulties and how to get over the hurdles. I'll show you techniques to remove the glass successfully without damaging the digitizer, the polarizer, and we'll talk about that. The second day will probably be a continuation of that, touching up on details that I may have missed, but it will lead into how to replace the connectors, anything that requires soldering. I'm going to be going over the soldering jobs, because when you start doing this full time, you either start running into issues where customers will have tried it themselves and damaged the cables, or maybe you're trying to have one of your employees or coworkers work on a device and they damage the cable. Being able to replace that cable on the spot, so that your customer doesn't lose that time away from their watch, and so that you don't also have to mail it off for repair to somebody like me to fix it, and extending that repair time out. Being able to do that in-house is definitely beneficial. And one of the things that's nice about this course as well is you can bring the watches that you have. If you're deciding that you want to buy watches online, fix them up and sell them, or maybe you're just doing this to repair watches because you have enough people coming into your shops or asking you because they find out that you repair stuff if you can do them. Maybe you're getting enough of that where you realize, you know what, this is going to be beneficial, because the cost of the tuition for these courses is going to be something like what you would probably make back in a dozen or so repairs. So given that they're back there, I have 30 watches or so. That was over the weekend. I had a kid over the weekend, so I wasn't able to attend to those boxes, but it was like 10 boxes a day or something came in. So you can kind of get an idea of how many repairs you could start to do, and you could make this profitable. So email me if you're interested. Leave a comment in the below as well, so that I can start to get a list together of those that are interested. We can talk about the costs and schedule a time. I want to make sure that everyone can make it to this that wants to learn. And based off of the amount of emails that I've already gotten interest from the video I did before, where I only talked about it for a little bit, I'm assuming that there's going to be enough interest that we can get this going fairly soon. I hope to hear from you guys soon. If you have any more input on things you would like to see in the course, I'm happy to take suggestions. Those are just the majority of the repairs that I tend to do on a daily basis that can be profitable, and so I wanted to make sure I include all of those in the course. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below, or you can email me. I'll leave my email in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.